what would happen if you came out and you said, let's just say in the month of October, Stephen A. came out. Let's be real here. You came out on your podcast, obviously not at the network you would, but on your podcast, you said, guys, I'm going to say something right now. You guys are going to be very upset at me. What happened if you in the month of October said, I'm voting for Trump? What would happen?
I'd be called a sellout and a coon by my own community. That would be automatic. That's exactly what they would say. But what I would tell you is to know something about me, I wouldn't give a damn. I'm not scared. I'll say what I feel. Let me address the point that you made earlier. My belief is I'm going to vote for Biden. Now, you have to remember, it's how you're looking at the presidential election might be a little bit different than me. For example, I'm the kind of person that might vote for the president being a Democrat and every other position Republican. Every senator, every congressional figure, every local. In other words, because I view the presidency, I understand it's the commander-in-chief, I get it, but I view, and listen, I will preface it by saying I'm open to correction. I truly am. I view the presidency as more of a statesmanship position. If I interviewed Trump, I would look him in his face and tell him why. I'm not calling you a racist. I'm not saying that all of your policies were wrong. Hell, the economy was thriving before COVID. I remember. But you don't know how to act. I said, you don't care what you say. You don't care about how divisive you come across. You don't have any sensitivity whatsoever to how you scare the living hell out of people with your rhetoric and with your aloof. I don't know if the word is aloofness or just a disregard for the importance of unity. You believe in America, I believe in America. Let me tell you what I believe in about America. I believe that when we're together, nothing can stop us. Nothing. I don't care if it's a bad president. I don't care if it's bad people on Capitol Hill. I don't care if corporate America is garbage. I don't care if Wall Street's messing up. We will overcome anything.
What's going on, everyone? Talks to Kenny here today, and I wanted to talk about. I want to highlight more of this problem that I see in the black community. Is this social pressure? Right? You can call it peer pressure, social pressure, whatever. So in the video, you saw it from the intro. Stephen A. supposed to ask the question, "What would happen if he will vote for Trump?" And he said, "Oh, I'll be called this, and this." Or he rattled them off like instantly, right? And he gave some conclusions about why he wouldn't vote for Trump because of his temperament, his messaging. He thinks the messaging is very important. And I always how I grew up anyway. I always thought that your actions speak louder than your words. But for Stephen A., and I think for many black people, they think words is better than a politician's actions. This is why Democrats can come in here, say that the Republicans are racist, and it seems like a large group of black people will just, okay, he's racist, I ain't gonna vote for him. Even if it's at the expense of my own individual needs. And this is why I think collectivism is so bad, is because as a black American, I experience that groupthink every single day. People attributing me to a collective. Oh, black people are supposed to be like this. They're supposed to vote Democrat, right? Black people always complain, oh, we're not a monolith. Black people are not a monolith. Black voices are not a monolith. Then they run into a black voice that don't toe the line or looks at Trump favorably, and all of a sudden, oh man, we got blacks for Trumps, huh? You trying to defend Trump? Oh, Trump will never do anything for you. I don't care about Trump doing anything for me. And this is the problem, like, black people seem to have. They think too only about themselves. They think too exclusionary. They want everyone to be inclusive while they are being exclusive. Make it make sense. Treat unto others what you want them to do unto you. End of the day, you can't run around being like, I'm thinking about me and everyone's thinking about you. Like, it makes no sense. What was that Lil Wayne rap? You all about her and she all about hers. That's how black people are coming across. They expect everyone to think about their well-being, and then they don't think about no one else's well-being. The economy is destroying everybody right now. A recent study in the economics came out that Biden's economy, you'll need to make 6 figures to own a house. Now y'all know why I got a new job. Crazy. Like, it's harder to live. And if you ain't making moves to increase your income, your day-to-day will be harder. And this is something I think black people are not realizing, is that they got to put their ego aside. And I think is this, like, I wouldn't even call it narcissistic, but This is group like this racial superficial. Because in the end of this clip, and I'm sorry I'm rambling off, I want to like make this point. In the end of the clip, you saw Stephen A. talking about how when America's united, there's nothing that can stop us. I agree with that sentiment. I believe when we're united, there's nothing that can stop America. But what's causing our division currently? Identity politics. Who's the biggest pushers of identity politics? They just happen to be black. That's all I'm saying. Race hustlers, they make their money out of race hustlers. They make their money off of white liberals who have a negative racial bias against their own group of people. That's where the money is for the race hustlers. The race hustlers ain't talking for me, black people, and other groups. No, they're talking to white liberals because these liberals, they suffer from white guilt, which is a negative bias against your own group of people. And that's their biggest moneymaker. Abram X. Kennedy, all his money is coming from white liberals, specifically white liberal women. But in the black community, y'all hold him as more pro-black than a black conservative. Make it make sense. You complain, oh, black conservatives, only white people agree with your takes. I think white people agree with my takes. Asian people agree with my takes. Hispanics people agree with my takes. Maybe I grew up different because I'm born and raised in South Florida. Maybe we do things different here. Because in South Florida, Florida was throughout not political history, but for the longest time, Florida was known as a centrist state. We were a state about common sense. The minute your party stop making sense, we go the other way. And that's the kind of voter I am. If Republicans stop making sense today, I'll vote Democrat. If Democrats stop making sense today, I won't vote I'll vote Republican. If both parties go crazy, I'll try to find a third alternative. Who knows? But this is the kind of like background I come from. And this is why I laugh when black people or supposedly black people in my comment section trying to check me. I'm like, yo, I'm looking at you like, yo, you from a different state. You from a different location. Black people are not the same. Nationally, black people are not the same. Black people in Florida have a different culture than black people in Louisiana, Missouri, Tennessee. Different culture, different upbringing, but we're all expected to think the same. We're from states that you can even make the claim that in the United States, states are like countries compared to Europe. But all black people are supposed to think the same. Make it make sense. You pretend that all black people have your life. No, there's some rich black folks that don't even relate to you. They relate more to wealthy people than to little old you. But because you share skin color, you're supposed to have the same struggle. This is why black people make fun of kids from good households. Oh, you didn't go through no struggle. You ain't really black. Peer pressure. And what happens? I've seen it a lot of times in college. These kids that come from a good background, 2-parent household, middle class upbringing, went to a good private school, getting pressured by the other black kids that grew up in poverty to try to make shame them for their skin color, shame them for their lifestyle, because it really is out of jealousy, and they end up falling in line and trying to emulate the behaviors of the majority. This is one of the reasons why I will never send my kids to a historically black college, because I don't want my kids influenced by the negative concepts in our culture. Now, if I agree with black culture for the most part, I'll probably send my kid to a HBCU, but I don't. I think a lot of the things that the black culture pushes is incentivizing us towards a negative and destructive direction. So why would I put my kid in front of that? Especially my own personal story, what happened with my little brother, which I'm not going to go into, but HBCUs destroyed nah, I'm good. Now you can say, oh, Kenny, that's a biased take. Kenny, you have a negative perception of HBCUs. I don't care. I just see the direction that black folks are doing, the things they push our youth to go towards. Ain't for me, Sway. Imagine a culture pushing the majority of its youth towards low probability outcomes. Oh, we all got to be athletes. We all got to be rappers. What's the probability of you becoming an athlete and a rapper? Versus in the Asian culture where they're pushing people to be engineers, doctors, physicists, researchers. What are higher probabilities of those people making it? There's more opportunity for people to be engineers, doctors, lawyers, and all this other stuff that the Asians are pushing their kids to go to. And look at us. We're pushing our kids to go to be entertainers. Go be a comedian. Go be this. If that's your passion, go for it. But statistically speaking, you're going to leave majority of your youth broke with no transferable skills. And that's the reality of the black culture. But instead of putting up a mirror and looking at it and self-diagnosing and say, we got to fix this, we got to fix that. No, any criticism is perceived as racist. This is the culture I don't agree with. I'm not sorry about that. Because just like I could be unapologetically ignorant about this, I could be unapologetically knowledgeable about it. Because the reality of the black community is ignorance silencing knowledge. If you're knowledgeable about certain topics, but that knowledge hurts the agenda that the black people, or hurts the perception that the black people are trying to push in society, they'll demonize you, shame you, because there's strength in ignorance. All you gotta do is yell. All you gotta do is call them names, and that's what's shown today. That's what it shows today. I mean, that was my little rant. I mean, you can't say I'm lying. Like if the white community, let's play a game. If the white community was, let's say the white community believed in racism, which is not the case in 2024, but let's play the game. And a small group of white people, let's say like 10% of them say, hey, this is wrong. You can't be treating people just because they have different pigmentation than you. We can't have different standards for treating them. We shouldn't be admitting them to college just because we should not be denying them college opportunities just because of their skin color. There could be some smart and bright black people. Why we're doing this. And they shout down the white person as, oh, you're a mud shark, you're this, you're a traitor to your race, all this nonsense. Black people will say, no, I agree. The 10% is actually right on this. Look at the facts. Look at the stats. But that's what the black people are doing right now. A black conservative come out trying to tell you, hey, I think we should vote a different direction. No. The Democrats are the only party for us. This is how you get Bible thumping black Christians voting Democrat. Because there's this big, so I'm telling you, that you never experienced in your life. If you go to the black church, which is like the ideological Democratic stronghold, like black churches are more political than other churches. This is just my personal experience as a kid growing up in church. Maybe that's why I got pushed off by Christianity, because I saw how overtly political a lot of black churches tend to be. Let me know if I'm lying in the comment section. If you're a black person, you're identifying what I'm saying, let me know in the comment section. But that's what I noticed in the black church. It's a lot of like politics in there, right? Politicians will come in. I remember, I might be giving myself away, but I remember when the Democratic Senator Daphne Campbell came into my church, and she was here trying to get reelected. And I always thought, I was like, hey, shouldn't we not be allowing to do this? I remember asking questions. I'm a little kid. Hey, quiet you. We listening. I'm like, okay, it's craziness, right? But that's just how the black church operate, and that's why I think this is why there's such a strong social pressure in the black community to vote Democrat. That's just some of my theories. Let me hear yours in the comment section. Why you think that black people stay on code and risk their own personal gain for the perceived betterment of the group, when in reality, the party that they're having us vote for is not actually helping the progression of the majority or the collective group. Actually, the Democrats benefit if the collective group stays the same, because as the collective group current circumstances stands, the Democrats are guaranteed to get 90% of their vote. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That's the common thing that we always hear. This is why the Democrats only come around every 4 years. They don't want to do anything for black folks, because they know if they do something for black people, right? There's stats that show that if you are becoming more mobile economically, if you become more economically prosperous, if you begin to own assets, you're less loyal to the Democratic Party. That's how I should phrase it. So the Democrats themselves don't have an incentive to actually do something for black folks. But yet we're still demanded by the Roland Martins of the world to continue voting for them because they have better messaging. Oh, they're willing to speak to black people. When Republicans are trying to do this colorblindness, hey, we're trying to speak to all Americans. If you're an American, we're talking to you. That's a Republican platform. But it seemed like the black people, black community, they want the Republicans to talk like Democrats. Like, make it make sense. No, if you want a Democrat, vote for a Democrat. But Republicans are an alternative, and they have to offer something different, because that's the only way you can make progress. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's insanity. And this is why I try to tell these old heads like the Roland Martins of the world. This is why black men under 30 years old are more moderate, more likely to identify as independents than Democrat, and is more open to vote for Trump. I'm in that demographic. But do you think the old heads listen? No. They don't want to listen. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They never experienced racism like we did. But instead of highlighting that as, oh, look, we made progress in America where young men are now more integrated in society. Interracial marriage is through the roof in my age group. It's ridiculous. Yet you still want to hold on to race first politics. This is why I said I made a video that racial politics is slowly dying, and this is why. I'm part of the statistic. Look, I'm in an interracial marriage. I have mixed kids. I can't think about one group of people. No, I have to think about what's best for, in general, all groups of people, because my kid doesn't fit in a box. Because this is a type of peer pressure that mixed kids, I believe, go through, because they go through an identity crisis. Or I don't know if I'm white, black. Black people say, oh no, you got to act like this to be accepted. And I'm like, nah, I'm telling my son, nah, you don't got to do none of that. Just be you. Be proud of what you find fulfilling. You find fun. If you find books fun and another group of people make fun of you, ignore them. Go to a people that will accept you for that. That's what happened in my life. I loved reading books as a young kid. And that caused ostracization from the black folks, people that are supposed to have my back. And this is why black people lose, because there's a warning from W.E. Du Bois, and I'll end my video on this, that The Talented 10th, there's a book called The Talented 10th. And he made the argument that a group of people cannot prosper if it keeps denying and pushing away its smartest and brightest people, its brightest and talented people. And what does black culture actively do? Demonize intelligence, demonize talent, when especially if that talent doesn't go along with their agenda. Right? This is why I'm talking about black people do things that cut their nose to spite their face, because they want to get one over on you. They want emotional victories instead of practical ones. This is why there's a wealth gap in the black community. Because when you get a Deion Sanders bringing money into this HBCU, and Deion Sanders gets a $10 million contract from a predominantly white college, instead of all the black people coming together, right? Because they want, like, this is the hypocrisy of the black community. They want us to come together to vote, which takes no buy-in. It don't take no effort to vote, compared to raising money, donating it to Jackson State, right? You had all these millionaire athletes, in some cases billionaire athletes. Y'all could have had a meeting of the minds and say, hey, we want black people, this black culture to prosper. We want Deion Sanders to stay in Jackson State. Let's raise money. Hey, Jackson State, we're going to give you record donations to match the offer that Deion got from Buffalo State, University of Buffalo, if I remember correctly. Or no, sorry, University of Colorado, sorry. And we want you to match his offer. And we're giving you the donations right now. Westbrook will donate. LeBron James will donate. All these famous black people will donate to your college to match the offer from University of Colorado. That's a possibility. This is the mindset of a man that thinks for himself, that thinks, what can I do about the situation? Not sitting around waiting for other people to do something for me. And this is the mentality. Black people have been conditioned to be passive. Oh my God, Deion should have just stayed. He's rich already. Expecting a talented person to essentially give his talent undervalue. This is one of the plights of black culture, is that black people undervalue your talents, your skills, your abilities, your skills. They undercut it. In the market, it's worth $20,000. In the black community, they say, I want to give you $5,000. Why can't you just give it to me for free? Give us the hookup. Shows a lack of respect for talented people. And they wonder why, oh, there's a wealth gap. We don't got no businesses. We got lack of opportunities in the black community, because the black community is like a chicken or egg problem. What happened first? The lack of respect for talent, or the talent's lack of respect for the community? Who knows how it happened? But I could use Deion Sanders as an example, because black Twitter is always mad about Deion Sanders. But make it make sense. If someone was undercutting you, oh, we only want to pay you, we want a community discount, and someone's willing to pay full price for your talents and abilities, wouldn't you leave too? And this is the funny part about a lot of black people. They quick to call Deion, but a lot of y'all working for white people. But y'all pro-black on the internet though. Fake. That's why I say a lot of y'all fake pro-blacks. That's why I laugh. I'm like, if I go based on what is best for black people, everything y'all doing is counter to what's prosperous for black people. You pushing for single mother homes, when single mother homes disproportionately affects black community to the point where it's a big indicator of poverty. The number one thing black people complain about. Generational wealth is not produced in a single parent household. But black community, the race with the largest percentages of single motherhood in it, and you're surprised you have there's a wealth disparity between you and other groups of people. Don't compare yourself to the Asians. The disparities is even greater. But y'all want to focus on black and white? Like y'all the only two racial groups in America. Make it make sense. But this is the idea. Instead of looking at themselves, they want to blame someone else. And this is the black culture that I don't want my kids to be exposed to. Sorry, not sorry. Because I grew up in a different culture. I grew up in a culture for do for self. I grew up in a culture that forced you, hey, you may not be the poor, you may not be the richest, but you're not the poorest. Be resourceful. Be satisfied, be content of where you are in life, but always strive for more. Like, this is what I've been taught from my parents, from my culture. But, you know, you get called Uncle Tom soon, Sambo, all kinds of stuff, merely because you don't agree with the majority. Imagine that. Imagine that. All the black people say, hey, Apple's the phone for black people, and you walk around with an Android, they'll demonize you for that. Backwards thinking. And this is how I believe the black community is stuck in dogma thinking. You can be mad at me in the comment section, but that's honestly how I feel. Like, tell me where I'm lying. Y'all always got some excuse. Y'all got some elaborate, it's a system that's elaborately trying to stop. When it's just like, nah, as a group, y'all making bad decisions that's giving you bad results, and you don't want to admit that you're wrong, and you continue going down this route. Sunken cost fallacy. Look it up. That's what the black community is in right now. We already dedicated 60 years to the Democratic Party. Why change now? Because that's the hardest thing for human beings to do, is change. I digress. I think I ran on a long rant. I was supposed to show you guys a video, but I ended up starting to flow. So let me know your thoughts about it in the video, in the comment section below. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.